$2 billion in less than 2 weeks. $2.1 billion in less than 2 weeks. That's freaking crazy. That's insane. So let's get into it. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion.
We're in the endgame now.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Just My Opinion. I really do appreciate it. And in this episode, we're doing another box office breakdown. Avengers Endgame is tearing it up domestically, worldwide, internationally, all that good stuff at the box office. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Click that little bell so you get notified when I give uploads, and give me that thumbs up. Let's see if we can get this video to 300 likes. And also, if you're a subscriber, please stay to the end of the video because I have a question for you. But Avengers Endgame in less than 2 weeks is 10 days in the United States. It is in its second weekend of release, and it brought in another estimated $145.8 million. It dropped 59.2% at the box office. It is still in 4,662 theaters. It has a per theater average of $31,275. And like I said, it is in its second week of release. Now, a lot of people were kind of thinking that it could beat the second biggest opening weekend, or the second week biggest opening weekend, and that right now it did not beat that. That still belongs to Star Wars The Force Awakens at $149 million, $149,202,860. Now, since today is Sunday, this is the estimated numbers. Okay, tomorrow, Monday, we're going to get the actual numbers, and Sunday, when these numbers come out, they're 97, 98, 99% accurate. So we're just going to roll with it, because last week it was the estimated numbers was $350 million for Endgame opening weekend, and it ended up being 357. So it could go up. I think it did, but as of today, Star Wars The Force Awakens still holds the crown for the second week of that weekend at 149, but Avengers Endgame is, it did come through strong with $145 million. Now, domestically, it's tearing it up as well. It is at $619 million, $619,698,638. Now, like I said, this film is only in its 10th day of release. And so it's already, I mean, if you look at the all-time record, as far as domestically is concerned, Avengers Endgame is at number 9. You see Star Wars The Force Awakens is way up there at 936 million. Avatar is number 2 at 760. Black Panther 700. Avengers Infinity War is 678. I think that it will pass Avengers Infinity War by this time next week, and just a little bit after that, Black Panther. But it may even surpass Black Panther. Maybe even, well, I don't know about Avatar, by this time next week. But right now, domestically, it is already looking at number 9, guys. And that's just freaking amazing. Now, as far as China is concerned, the second biggest box office worldwide, right now, China internationally is looking at $575 million. And so that's freaking amazing as well. That is the biggest Chinese foreign film ever. And I believe the third highest film in China, period. And so the only things that is beating Avengers Endgame in China right now is The Wolf Warrior 2 and also The Wandering Earth. Wolf Warrior 2 was like 800 something million. The Wandering Earth was about 600 million. So yeah, China's doing this thing right now, at the box office as well, as far as Avengers Endgame. Now let's look at Avengers worldwide. That's impressive as well, of course. And right now, worldwide, Avengers Endgame is at $2.1 billion, $2,188,698,638. And that's crazy. Domestically, 10 days, and internationally it's been 12 days, something like that. So no other film has ever reached $2.1 billion this fast. Last week, I think Avengers Endgame was at number 6 or number 7 worldwide, and now it is number 2. The only thing that is beating it right now, of course, is Avatar. It has passed Avengers Infinity War. It's passed the Star Wars The Force Awakens. It passed Titanic at 2.1, and barely 2.187 is Titanic. Avengers Endgame is 2.188, and so it's only, well, I don't want to say only, like, hundreds of $1 million is not a lot of money. It is, but it is $600 million away from Avatar. I think that it is going to catch Avatar. As far as the $3 billion, it's possible, but we don't know. It's still kind of early to tell right now. The film is front loaded. I was very confident before, but I may want to dial back those expectations just a little bit. Because $600 million is a lot of money. It's possible. And just about Avatar real quick, I've been seeing a lot of comments and YouTube videos. Well, the only reason Avatar made $2.7 billion is because it was in theaters for a year. And if every other film was in theaters for a year, it would possibly do the same or come close. Well, every film that has ever been released in cinematic history has the capability of being in a theater for a year. Avatar was in theaters for a year because people just kept showing up at the box office at the theater to see it. If you own a building, if you own a theater, why in the hell would you take away a movie if people keep coming back to see it? It's making money. Now, Avatar did not have a big opening weekend like Endgame, Infinity War, all that good stuff. It had a small opening weekend, $77 million. And that was decent back in 2009, 10 years ago. But at the budget that this film was, and it says right here 237 on Box Office Mojo, I feel it's much higher than that. I don't know. Well, anyway, people just kept coming back to see it over and over and over again. It had legs. And so, if people keep coming back, they're going to keep it in theaters. Hence, that's why it was in theaters for 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 months, a year. Every film has that possibility to do that. Now, something else that I want to look at is domestically. Everybody was talking about is Avengers Endgame going to, catch Avatar on $3 billion. I've also been saying myself that I want Avengers Endgame to reach $1 billion domestically. Now, it has a chance to do that. Right now, though, the record holder for that is Star Wars The Force Awakens at $936 million. Avengers Endgame has a chance. Now, if you look at the day-to-day numbers for Avengers Endgame, it is outpacing Avengers Infinity War, and it is outpacing Black Panther. The only time Black Panther won on the day-to-day was that first Friday. Was it the first Friday? Let me double check on that. No, that first Monday after the weekend, it brought in $40 million, while Avengers Endgame brought in $36 million. If you're, just looking at the chart right now, but if you look over to the left of the screen, you'll see the numbers. Those numbers correspond, with what day of release this was. So, Black Panther won the fourth day at $40 million, while Endgame was at $36 million. But every other day, Avengers Endgame is outpassing Black Panther and Infinity War. Now, Black Panther ended up making $700 million domestically. So I know that Endgame will make that. But what's more important, like I said, is Star Wars The Force Awakens that brought in $936. Star Wars The Force Awakens is winning the day-to-day battle. The only time Avengers Endgame won a day-to-day was the first opening weekend, that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th day, these are the weekdays, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The Force Awakens is winning the day-to-day as you look at the chart. But if you look at the Friday, the Saturday and Sunday, 61 million versus Star Wars, 61 million versus Star Wars 56 million, and on Sunday 43 million 0.7 versus The Force Awakens 43.1. So I don't know if it would need to be even with the pacing if it was going to reach 936 or $1 billion domestically. We're just going to see. But Star Wars had much less competition because it was released in December. And December, you got the holidays, more kids are out. And then you're going into January, which is the toilet bowl season of movie releases, where nothing's being released except for Liam Neeson releases or some type of cheap horror film. And so I don't know if Endgame will possibly reach that. It could, we'll have a better frame for that next week. But right now it is up in the air. But yeah, Avengers Endgame is tearing it up right now. 145 is second week, 619 domestically, and $2.1 billion worldwide globally. That's freaking insane. Also, real quick, we have some new data that we didn't have last week. Box Office Mojo is saying that the budget for Avengers Endgame, the production budget, is $356 million. And so, and the marketing is north of 200 million. So I want to say 220 just to be on the safe side, so we're looking at a production and marketing budget right now combined at $576 million. But if you just take the production budget, 356 times that by 3 is $1.168 billion. And, that's 3 times that it needed to make that. Avengers Endgame made $1.2 billion last week at this time, so they're just in profit land right now. So all is good in Marvel and Disneyland. Now, guys, let's go ahead and just look at the new releases as well. We don't want to leave those films out. We have The Intruder, Long Shot, Ugly Dolls, and El Chicano. I did see The Intruder. That film is on my channel right now, so if you want to go check out that review, you can. Please subscribe. Go check that out. So Intruder, Long Shot, Ugly Dolls, and El Chicano. So did any of these films make it in the top 5? Well, yes, they did. Let's look at the top 5 real quick. Out of the 4 new releases, 3 of them did make it in the top 5. Avengers Endgame, of course, is number 1, 145 million. The Intruder came in at $11 million. It is in 2,222 theaters at per theater average $4,950. First week of release, of course, and the budget for that was only $8 million. It did a little bit better than studio projections. They thought it was going to do about 7-8 million, but it brought in 11, so that's good. So go support Michael Ealy and Megan Good. I'm a big fan of their work, and if you want to know if the movie is good, just go check out my review. Rule of 3, since the production budget was $8 million, it needs to make at least $24 million worldwide for the studios to have a respectable profit. Coming in at number 3 is Long Shot at $10 million, $10,025,000, 3,230 theaters, $3,100 theater average first week of release. Ugly Dolls is coming in at number 4 at $8.5 million. It is in 3,600 theaters. $2,300 per theater average. It is in this first week of release. That budget was $45 million, and so that has some work to do as well. I'm not sure if it's going to have a theatrical release. Now let's look at Captain Marvel real quick. It is in the top 5 as well. Last week it was number 2. Because of the bump or whatever. It brought in another $4.2 million. It had a 48% drop from last week. It is still in 2,200 theaters. It lost 192 theaters. Right now it's $1,900 per theater average. It is in its 9th week of release. And so domestically, Captain Marvel is at $420 million. And $1.1 billion worldwide. So that is just freaking incredible. Now, just real quick, let's look at the top 10 as well. Coming in at number 6, it's in its 3rd week of release, is Breakthrough. It brought in $3.9 million. The Curse of La Llorona is number 7. Its 3rd week of release, it brought in another $3.5 million. Shazam is coming in at number 8 at $2.4 million. It had its 56.1 drop. It is in its 5th week of release, and Shazam is a success. Since Avengers Endgame is a comic book movie and it's number 1, we're going to focus on comic book stuff. Shazam is a success. I don't care what you say. Right now, worldwide is at $355 million. The production budget was $100 million. And so it made 3 times the budget. And so it's in profit land right now, guys. It was the cheapest in the DCEU. It's also the most unknown character in the DCEU. I don't want to hear no crap talking about, well, Aquaman made over $1 billion and this didn't come close to that. Aquaman is a much bigger unknown IP than Shazam is. And Aquaman overperformed. This film did not lose money. It made money. So this is great. Shazam did what it needed to do. Coming in at number 9 is Little. It brought in another $1.4 million right now worldwide. It is at $46 million. Had a $20 million budget, so I'm really hoping that it reaches $60 million because I want to support Miss Marseille Martin. And coming in at number 10 is Dumbo, a box office flop, bringing in $1.4 million. It is in its 6th week of release. It's only at $338 million, which is bad because the production budget was $170 million. Rule of 3, that would be it needed to make $510 million, and it's not going to make that, which is very, very unfortunate. Now, guys, I talked about the top 10 domestic earlier. Let's look at the top movies of 2019 domestically. And of course, we have Avengers Endgame at $619 million. We have Captain Marvel at $420 million. We have Us at $173 million. And this is domestic, How to Train Your Dragon Hidden World. I still haven't seen it. And look, Shazam is right there doing this thing, top 5 domestically for 2019 at $135 million. So that is just great. Let's look at the worldwide for 2019. We have Avengers Endgame at $2.1 billion. Captain Marvel is at $1.1. The Wandering Earth, Chinese film, is $699.8 million. How to Train Your Dragon is still in there, $517. And Little Battle Angel is at $404 million. We're going to see how that looks when Detective Pikachu comes out. It may be in the 100 millions of, well, I'm pretty sure it is. John Wick may be up there. We're just going to have to see. We got the Godzilla movie coming, Spider-Man coming, Lion King, Aladdin, all this coming. So this is going to be shifted around quite a bit, during the middle and the end of the summer. So real quick right now, I want to look at the Marvel Cinematic Universe domestically. We have Black Panther coming in at $700 million at number 1, Infinity War $678. Marvel's 2012 The Avengers at $623, and Endgame is right there at $619. Captain Marvel is number 6 at $420. So this is the top 10 right now domestically for the MCU. And let's look at the worldwide MCU. Avengers Endgame is number 1. Infinity War is number 2. 2 films in the $2 billion club, guys. That is what's up. That is what's up. And let me look at the all-time worldwide. We got Avatar up there at 2.7. Endgame is at 2.1. So if you look at the top 10, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 films that are owned by Disney that are in the top 10 at the worldwide global box office. Avatar was 20th Century Fox, but we know that has been acquired by Disney now. So that's just crazy. So we now officially have 5 films in the $2 billion club. 2 of those, all of those, 4 of those are Disney. 2 of those are in the MCU. So that's just freaking fantastic. So what I want to know from all of my subscribers, and if you're not a subscriber, subscribe so you can answer the question, what do you think Avengers Endgame will be next week? I'll shout you out if next video, if you guys care about that, whoever gets the closest. So what do you think Avengers Endgame will be domestically next week? What do you think Avengers Endgame will be globally next week? I'm just going to run through the comments and check all that stuff out. But guys, this is freaking insane. I can't wait to see what's next in the MCU. We're going to be getting a Spider-Man trailer tomorrow, and I can't wait to react to it and geek out and act all crazy and all that good stuff. But guys, that is just my opinion. What did you think about these box office numbers in my rundown? Do you agree, disagree? Did I turn you on? Did I turn you off? Do you agree with me or disagree? Let me know down in the comment section below. Let's get this conversation going and keep it flowing. If you like this video, go ahead and give me that thumbs up. If you don't, that's fine. But you can still subscribe to my channel. You can also look me up on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all that good stuff. It's right there at the bottom of the screen, and I made it very easy by providing a link to all that good stuff down in the description box below. But guys, I just want to thank you again for tuning in to my opinion/review/reaction to Avengers Endgame, making $2.1 billion in less than 2 weeks. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.
We're in the endgame now.